After a decade of G4, the newest generation of My Little Pony is finally here. Last year, Netflix premiered the first G5 movie, A New Generation, and this month is the premiere of the next G5 special, Make Your Mark. With more episodes on the way later this year, we wanted to take a look at the ponies we've met so far and see where they land on the morality spectrum. I'm Kristijan with WickedBinge, and this is My Little Pony G5, good to most heroic. At the time of writing this, while there have been a few antagonists in G5, these characters haven't quite crossed that line into being bad nor evil, so today we're going to be starting with the least good ponies in G5 before working our way up to the most good and the heroic. For our least good, but still debatably good pony, we've selected Sprout Cloverleaf. Sprout is both Hitch's deputy and Phyllis's son. Being shown to be pretty cowardly in the face of real threats, he resents Hitch for being more popular with the town's ponies, but doesn't try to actually better himself until his mother pushes him to do so. Needless to say, this bettering ends up backfiring massively. Once Sprout is made temporary sheriff of Maritime Bay, he quickly becomes drunk with power. He even commands the ponies to build him a giant war machine that can be used against unicorns and pegasi. But while he's both a bully and an idiot at times, Sprout isn't really evil. Much of his actions were driven by his mother's influence, which makes sense since all he wants is her approval. We never see Sprout again after the end of the first film, so it's implied that he isn't going to continue trying to create a war between the three races. These things don't excuse his actions, which is why we had to put him at the very bottom, but here's hoping that next time we see this character, he'll be more than just a wannabe dictator. Not too far above her son, we have Phyllis Cloverleaf. Being the head of Cantor Logic, a company specializing in products to keep Earth ponies safe and stylish, Phyllis uses the prejudices between the three pony races to her advantage. What's worse is that the anti-unicorn and anti-pegasi products were, at best, defective and useless, and at worst, extremely dangerous. Phyllis was also a pretty terrible mother, all things considered. When it came to her son Sprout, she taught him to fear other races of ponies and later pushed him into becoming a leader, which turned into him becoming a dictator, as we have already covered. Even if this wasn't Phyllis's plan, she still played a part and didn't do much to take responsibility for her son or his destructive actions. But still, for what it's worth, Phyllis had no desire to actually attack anyone and start a war. Additionally, she wasn't purposely pushing lies to sell her products. Phyllis did legitimately believe that unicorns and pegasi were dangerous. Once she realized the truth, Phyllis tried to make up for the damage she inadvertently caused. However, at best, these traits keep her from being any lower. While not a complete villain or heartless monster, she's still a pretty terrible person. Next up is the most recent G5 character, Posey Bloom. Posey serves as the main antagonist of the Make Your Mark special, being the one who ends up making the arguments between the three types of ponies worse. In addition to originally having a dislike of magic, Posey is also extremely judgmental. Whether it's an accident or a misunderstanding, she tended to see the worst in both unicorns and pegasi, not really wanting to listen to reason. Eventually, though, Posey does apologize and admits that her anger came from jealousy. We have to wonder, though, would she have been willing to admit her faults if she hadn't gotten her own flower power magic? It's hard to say. Still, since the worst she does is start arguments and get angry at non-Earth ponies, we can't really put her any lower. Up next, we have Alpha Biddle. Being the alpha unicorn of sorts, given that he's the biggest one we see from the Bridlewood Forest, Alpha Biddle is also extremely competitive and more than a little cocky.
That makes me the winner! Again. Pay up.
He only accepts challenges if ponies offer up something valuable to him as part of a bet, and when he discovers Sunny's true identity as an Earth pony, he tries to disregard her victory over him. So yeah, he's just a bit of a sore loser too. However, while he may have been a bit of a jerk, Alpha Biddle does step up in the final battle, trying to protect others and does what he can to help restore the magic. Following him is the winged monarch Queen Haven. She's the mother of Pip and Zip, and the monarch of Zephyr Heights, being the one who originally had the idea of faking her and her family's ability to fly. Thankfully, Haven doesn't do this as a means of seeming more powerful nor more threatening to her subjects, but instead to be an inspiration and symbol of hope to them. While it still wasn't great that she lied to all the Pegasi, we can understand the good intentions behind them at least. Later on in the first film, we see Haven push Alpha Biddle out of the way of Sprout's war machine, saving both him and the critters he was trying to shield, so maybe this queen isn't so passive after all. As a mother, while she may have her faults, she's a much better mother than Phyllis at the very least. She cares about her daughters, despite her occasional sternness, even telling them to escape Zephyr Heights and save themselves after she's arrested. However, she does seem to favor Pip slightly. Haven also forced Zip to go along with their family's lie, despite her eldest making it very clear how uncomfortable she was with the lie, and tried to force her into princess lessons, so we had to take a couple points off for that. Still, at the end of Make Your Mark, Haven does accept that Zip is her own person and lets her make her own choices, which is definitely a step in the right direction. Next up is Haven's youngest daughter, Pip Petals. Being one of the Zephyr Heights princesses, Pip is a singer and a social media celebrity. While she may seem a bit shallow on the surface, she's definitely not just a spoiled princess. When it comes to her many fans, Pip does seem to, at the very least, care about them, genuinely wanting to entertain her fellow Pegasi while enjoying their attention at the same time. As a singer, Pip also tries to use her music to make others happy, like when she sings a song specifically for Zip in Make Your Mark when she sees that her big sister is stressed out. While she gets the least amount of development in the first movie, Pip does have her moments of goodness in it. She drops her grudge against her sister and Sunny fairly quickly, and even helps the latter win her dancing challenge by giving Sunny advice. All in all, while Pip may still be a bit phone-obsessed and isn't always the most active, she's still incredibly friendly for the most part, having many of the traits that we've seen in other admirable animated princesses. Finishing up the Pegasi royal family, next we have Zephyrina Zip Storm. Being the more rebellious Pegasus sister, Zip tends to be much more active than her sister. Unlike her mother and her sister, Zip refused to just live a pampered life as a princess, choosing to instead actively research Pegasi and their loss of flight. When she first hears that there's a chance to restore magic and flight for the Pegasi, Zip does what she can to help. This unfortunately means betraying both her mother and her younger sister, literally leaving Pip hanging after their heist went wrong. This is definitely her worst moment, but we can understand making a bad decision in the heat of the moment, especially if it's a decision that could potentially lead to a better outcome for everyone in the end. Zip can also be brave, joining Hitch in the battle against Sprout. Then in Make Your Mark, when Zip suspects that the magic is glitching, she takes it upon herself to try and figure out why. Although we have to take a couple points off for how secretive she was about her investigation, the fact that Zip ends up becoming a detective by the end of the special shows how much she cares about figuring things out and helping other ponies out with her discoveries. Just outside the podium of good is the arts and crafts unicorn Izzy Moonbow. Energetic and curious, Izzy serves as Sunny's first non-Earth pony friend. While she can be easily distracted and a bit of a ditz, Izzy's also extremely kind and friendly towards others, even towards Hitch and Sprout, who were trying to capture her. Izzy's skills as a crafter are also extremely helpful, since she was able to use them as a means to create a decoy crown for their Pegasus crystal heist, as well as unicorn disguises for the rest of the group.
But I will need a box of macaroni, a tube of glue, 14 gooey bunnies.
Her crafting skills also extended to gifts for her friends. She made much of the new Bright Tower's decor, and was even able to repair the lamp that Sunny's father gave her. While her tendency to be distracted and her naivete can be a bit troublesome, it really is Izzy's kindness that shines through the brightest. Earning the Bronze Medal of Good is Sheriff Hitch Trailblazer. Hitch serves as the hard-working sheriff at Maritime Bay, keeping a close eye on things and doing his part to keep both ponies and critters safe. We even see Hitch take care of a baby dragon in the Make Your Mark special, showing just how nurturing he can be. We also can't forget how he saved a young foal in the first film, or how he charged in to try and stop Sprout's attack in the first movie's climax. Though confident, Hitch never crosses the line into being self-centered and is even willing to compromise or be more open-minded. This is especially true with his childhood friend Sunny. While he does try to arrest her in the first movie, he only does this because he thinks enforcing the law is the right thing to do instead of doing it out of malice, even dropping the whole arrest thing once things are cleared up. Though he can be a bit stern and by the books at times, Hitch has a good heart, making it clear why he was chosen for the role of sheriff in the first place. For our Silver Medal of Good, we have Sunny Star Scout. As the adventurous and hopeful leader of the group, Sunny is the one who originally initiates and drives the quest to restore friendship to Equestria. All Sunny wants is for all pony kinds to get along, not believing that unicorns and Pegasi are as dangerous as others may say. Although idealistic, she's still willing to put in the work needed for her goals to succeed, being willing to leave her hometown and then continuing to try and help ponies get along. Sunny is also a good friend in general, being there for her friends and strangers alike. However, Sunny does have a couple flaws that keep her from the top spot. While her quest to restore the magic and unite all ponies was a noble one, Sunny was willing to steal and lie in order to complete this quest. Yes, it was for the greater good, but it was still wrong. Sunny was also a bit dismissive towards Izzy when Izzy tried to have tea with the group after they had reached her house, with Sunny caring more about finding the unicorn crystal than taking a chance to get to know her new friends. Her dismissiveness got a bit worse in the special, where she was more focused on getting Earth ponies to like magic than actually listening to their concerns. She even refused to believe Zip when Zip told her that magic was in danger. Thankfully, Sunny does redeem herself both by apologizing and by saving other ponies during the special's climax. Although she's on her way to becoming Equestria's most recent hero, there's still one pony that beats her in terms of goodness. Finally, our gold medal of good is going to Sunny's father, Argyle Starshine. As a pony historian, Argyle shared stories about Princess Twilight Sparkle and her friends with his daughter, encouraging her to not be prejudiced towards non-Earth ponies. Even when other ponies looked down on him for this, Argyle remained strong in his beliefs, not backing down from ponies like Phyllis. In addition to being a great role model, Argyle was just a great dad in general, being loving towards Sunny and having a close relationship with her. Although he didn't get very much screen time, he didn't seem to show any negative traits in that time, easily making him the purest character in this newest generation of My Little Pony. Then again, what do you really expect from a character that follows the dead Disney parent trope? But let us know in the comments section if you agree with our ranking, and tell us what we should cover next. Remember to hit that notification bell and binge our Good to Evil playlist, where we break down the moralities of the characters in your favorite cartoons, shows, and movies. But most importantly, stay wicked.